Hey guys, Technology here. I recorded this video once already, and I didn't turn my microphone on. So I'm in a great mood now. Apparently, I am an AI bigot. So if you don't know, I posted a video about DLSS 5 the other day. It got a little bit of traction for this channel, which is great. Love that. But there was some discourse in the comments. Essentially, the consensus is that I'm not appreciative of this leap in technology, and that I was dishonest about said leap in technology. Now to be clear, I don't think that this technology isn't impressive to a certain extent. But also, that is not what I said in my video. Which if you haven't seen, please go watch. The point I was trying to make in that very quick video was that this technology isn't really useful at all. And we'll touch base on that in a little bit. But what it is being introduced for is essentially just creating out of thin air another use for this AI because these large corporations have put a bunch of their funds into turning this into something and they have to find a way to sell it somehow. Those examples we saw was dual 5090s running to try to get those visuals. There is no world currently where it's even a consumer technology. And while yes, we have seen AI has gone from 0 to 100 in just a couple of years, it's clear that this is not a service for those that could potentially use it to push their creativity in game fidelity. Say you're making an indie game, you have the desire to make it look realistic, um, but you just don't have the dev time, you don't have the artistic talent to get it there. So this could be an easy gateway for you to have the visuals you want while pushing, the story on your own and, writing with your own sort of thing. And as an FYI, that argument is spawned from YouTuber Two Clicks Philip. He has a great video on DLSS 5. If you haven't seen it, go watch that as well. But watch mine first. But as well in that video, again, he's like making these arguments for these indie developers. And I just don't think it's a consumer grade technology. And I don't think it will be for some time. And even beyond that, I don't think that if it were to be consumer grade, it would be a great thing. I think that we should be proud and push people that do or don't have talent to try to pursue the things that they want to pursue. If you want to make an indie game that looks realistic and has a great story, you should learn to do those things. You can have talent, you cannot have talent. If you push yourself to learn, sorry to be inspiring, but you could do anything. Oh my god. And I don't think relying on AI to try to get us there or to push us there is necessarily a healthy relationship to have. I think, and I mean, this kind of goes into everything, but we're just being filled with slop, and so our patience is nothing. And so you get this idea to do a YouTube video, to write a book, or to make a game, and you get into the starting phases and you realize it's a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort. And so you're like, well, what can I do to help me do this faster? And there's a bunch of outlets. You can Wikipedia stuff, you can watch YouTube videos. You don't got to go to college. You can learn how to do all this stuff from the comfort of your chair. Those are all great outlets. But of course, the fastest way is AI. But then you're not doing anything. You're not earning your way to a product. So at the end of the day, even if it was unique, which it by definition of what AI currently is, which is just these models that are trained on everything that has already been made, it will never be unique, right? So not only will it not be unique, but then you're not going to appreciate it because you didn't put your own time, your own effort into making this thing. You're going to put maybe your idea into this thing and generate something that's along those lines. And then you're going to be like, okay, that's cool. but there's not gonna be passion behind it. When you get into a project, when you get into the depths of something, you really attach to it. That kinda turned into a little bit of a rant, but that was really a lot of the point I was trying to make with my previous video. This is clearly just another step in corporation favor to be able to push slop out to you faster and cheaper and easier so that you don't have time to think. You don't have time to be creative. You don't have time to do anything because you're so absorbed in this next new thing, and they can just keep doing that to you for perpetuity, right? And so I think it is a little childish to assume or to desire that this technology becomes something greater, because obviously it will. And we've seen how fast AI moves. It's going to, in a couple of years, probably be close to a consumer, at least, right? But are you gonna use it? Are you going to want to use it? Should you want to use it as a moral thing? Should you want to use it, right? I think there's a bunch of other things we can be putting our time into that isn't this, because at the end of the day, I don't think this is ever going to be something that is required or needed or really wanted. I think even when it comes to AI, right? There's so many things that AI has and will be doing in the future years that is genuinely beneficial to our society of people. It's huge in the healthcare field, right? It, it's fantastic for making monotonous and tenuous jobs a little easier without stealing another human being's job, right? Those are all great things that should be pursued and looked into, um, and sought after. But this is not only ruining human creativity, but it's stealing creative jobs, right? Because at the end of the day, if an indie developer uses it, whatever, right? I'm not going to bat an eye. But the bad part is going to be when AAA developers, people that hire, thousands of people, we've seen in the modern day, are just wanting the bottom dollar more and more. They're going to give up human labor for these AI models. And you can say what you will about that. Maybe some of these AAA developers should crumble and fall due to their own hubris. You want creatives to have an outlet. You want them to be able to go into a professional career. And all this is doing is decreasing those chances tenfold. That's really the moral of the story of my previous video. We'll see what happens with this in a couple of years. I'm sure I'll eat my words and die or something. Who knows? Um, but you know what? I don't like AI, and unfortunately, I'm probably not ever gonna really like AI, and that's a moral thing on my part. But whatever. That's pretty much it for this video. I'll see you when I replace my arm with a robot arm, and then I'm part AI, and I'll choke myself out.